First off, I want to say thank you to all of you. Just a few days ago, I did a video where I was talking about how I make the AI music you're hearing. And I came on a video just like this one and told you guys about that, and it was pretty cool. When I was doing that video, I told you guys we were at 205 subscribers at the time of the video. Well, as of this video, we're just under 550 subscribers, which is a big jump. My goal was to get to 1,000 subscribers by the summer. That was my initial goal. I knew when I came back to doing YouTube's stuff, I was kind of discouraged by the other videos I did when I thought they were doing pretty well. They didn't do as well as I wanted them to, and I was like, you know what, just maybe I might do more of the TikTok stuff, or maybe just make videos off and on when I feel like it, and put more production value into it when I have the editing equipment, like I always thought, later on. But then I think, no, this year we're going to put time. I want to make that my New Year's resolution. I wanted to go toward YouTube and do stuff here that could be really fun and cool. And although I knew we would make a whole lot of money doing it, my thought pattern was it didn't matter. I would enjoy the content that we're doing. So this is never about money for me. It's always just about enjoying what we're doing. But I did not expect this much success this quickly. Not even remotely. I did not expect it at all. Like, my Facebook page, the Wrestling News Hub, which is where a lot of the stuff I've been doing for AI began. We had the YouTube thing going pretty well there, but Meta has its own little restrictions on things. So Meta kind of forced me to think, well, if I want to do things for people to hear, I can't do it on Facebook because Meta doesn't allow us to really upload most stuff we want to there. If it has a copyright on it, YouTube allows us to upload it still, but Meta does not allow that most of the time. So we got lucky a few times. We had the one for like voices that we did the Taylor Swift version of, which you probably can see on the channel now. And that one at the time of this recording has around 123,000 views on the Facebook page that we have. So that's insane, by the way. But that blew up really, I would say, beginning of the year, which kind of made me feel like maybe there is an audience for the AI music stuff, which is why I came here. But I didn't expect this much from you guys, so I want to thank you all for that. But also, some programming notes, all right? So due to the fact that we have so much cool stuff going on, there's a lot of cool things I want to tell you guys that you're going to be hearing coming up pretty soon. First and foremost, this channel is called Joe Brickhead Music for a reason. It's not called Joe Brickhead AI Music. It's called Joe Brickhead Music because I am a music guy. I think I could really make good stuff there. And my goal is to make stuff in that genre area that could fit in various territories. AI is where we started at initially, but we're going to be going to things that are more unique. So there will be things you hear that are going to be not sounding exactly as you hear the AI stuff, which is just going to be a cool content area, things you could listen to or not listen to. We'll still do the AI stuff, don't worry, we're still doing that stuff for the music, but it will be all about that. So you're going to be seeing things like that coming up here and there, which is going to be just fun projects that I'll do on the side. Also, you're going to be getting unique content that involves a lot of AI, where you're going to be hearing some comedic stuff or some really interesting stuff people ask us to do and say, and I'll be saying them, doing them, and you'll hear the version of the one I'm doing first. How's that going to work? Well, basically, in views just like these, you're going to be getting behind-the-scenes ways of me just filming the stuff, like just getting the things out there, recording the audio, and then maybe the same day or a few days later, depending on how fast it takes to get the turnaround, you'll hear the AI version. Sounds pretty cool, I think, because unlike with other things, I feel like AI, because there is such a different way of doing things there, it's important that you hear the before and you get a before video, because I don't want people taking my videos out of context and using them for bad purposes. So if I'm going to make unique content, I have to be very ethical about it. And the only way to be able to do ethical stuff like that is to have you hear the recording before and then you hear the after. So that way people can say, well, I know who made this. This guy over here made this because he told us about doing it. Here's the video that shows how he said all the things there. And then this they have that. So you're hearing it and knowing that I'm not trying to screw anyone over. I'm not trying to do anything unethical. And I think from a moral limitation there, that's important for me to do. So that's going to be a goal for me this year, is to do more unique content. And you'll hear comedic stuff, you'll hear things that are more serious. But ultimately, what we're doing is we're using the AI stuff. So how are we going to do that? Well, a lot of different things. I told you guys in the last video how I make the stuff I make. And ultimately, the thing that people don't understand is, and this is really kind of the weird part, the way AI hears something is the way that it pushes back its stuff. So if, for example, I want to make something that's unique, I have to sound something similar to the character I'm going to be going after. So how will I do that? Well, it's very difficult to know, because I have to sound something similar to the person, but it's going to be hard to be exact. Now, that's okay. To get the sound is tough, but that's not the hard part. The hard part is saying things as the person says them, or what I call voice patterning. Basically, I need to sound something similar to the person and register, sure, but I need to sound like them and how they say something too. So if I'm going to use Trump, for example, if I want to use him for something, or I got to use Biden or Obama, I've got to say things as they would say them, not just their sound. So if I have something with Trump, I'm going to be a little bit, I might have some faces that I do here, but, you know, calm down a little bit. He might say something like China for China, because he's an idiot. So that's something you're going to be hearing for him, because you know how he says it. But if I said something similar to Trump that sounds like Trump, but said China, you know it won't sound right, because that's not how he'd say it. And that's the things that really become problematic, because when people say something in AI, a lot of times people use AI stuff to make AI stuff. So essentially, they'll write something down, and then they have the AI say the stuff, and then they'll take that audio from that and then throw it right back in to the AI to make the sound of the person. But in that way, you're getting a bland way of speaking. It's not going to sound like the person. In fact, there could be words that a person says that aren't right. So you got to get the voices, the patterning, and the words have to be said as the person says them. So the patterning is not only about the words, but it's also about how fast or slow someone says something. So it's very hard for someone like me to get to that point, because, as you noticed, I speak pretty fast. ADHD, you know, this is a problem, because if you have ADHD, the one thing you know about it is the fact that there's so much going on in your head that's coming out of your mouth at the same time that your brain and your mouth have to keep up, but both can't. So there's so much that's coming out that I can't get it out fast enough for my voice and for my mouth to put it out there in the world. So what ends up happening is you hear things like third things, or some things that sound like it's going off the rail somewhere. Like, it doesn't make any sense, but that's just how things work for people who have ADHD a lot. So we got to slow down a little bit and then get to someone's voice. So someone who speaks slower, it's harder for me to get there, but I can do it because I'm going to be thinking about it as I do it. So if I'm going to do Obama, who has a bit of a slower sort of thing like that, and you're going to be trying to be somewhere similar, you know, you got to, my fellow Americans, do this. Like, that sort of thing is what you got to do with him. Now, does that sound like Obama? Of course it doesn't sound like it's just Obama, but when you hear the AI recording of that, it'll sound like him, because we'll be somewhere similar to his voice pattern. But will it be perfect? Of course, nothing's perfect. That's the thing about it. But for me, I want to get as perfect as possible, which is why voiceover content like this is crucial. You need to get the exact pattern of voice, the exact way to say something, and that's the big deal that people don't think about when they're trying to clone voices or trying to sound similar to the person. This is why you can tell whenever there's someone saying things that don't sound exactly the same. Like, you could hear, like, we did a class in this when I was doing my undergrad degree, where I took a class called Fake News Class. That's what it was called. I actually have a book on it. I think it's somewhere over here. I'll have to find it. I'll tell you guys about it later. But basically, in that class, one of the things we had to listen to was Jordan Peele doing his Obama impression. And they had the AI person, they had someone do AI things where it showed the mouth moving that looked just like Obama was saying something. But it was Jordan doing the voice. Now, that was sort of a way to kind of make people think that Obama was saying something he wasn't actually saying. And the reason why was that people who were idiots don't know how he sounds sometimes. They just assume, oh, I see one thing, and don't know the difference. Like, they don't know how something, it's because you're not listening. If you listen, you'll know the differences. So Jordan does a great impression, so his impression typically does a good job at trying to get close enough to Obama. Now, if I were to put his voice through AI, it would sound perfect. And that's because he's so close that he patterns his voice properly. He does something close enough to the actual register, and he gets everything right with the way Obama would say it. So in those ways, I can get exactly what I need through the AI. But because no one has to do an impression anymore, it's okay to not be exact. It's the patterning that's important. So when you see some unique content from us, you're going to be getting that sort of thing from me, where you're going to be hearing me do a patterning or getting in a register that I don't normally sound like. And that's going to be really cool stuff you're going to be seeing coming up. But you're also going to see some music stuff coming up that's not exactly the same. So a person asked recently, can you make some cinematic music stuff for us? Like, yeah, sure, no problem. But I hadn't had a chance to do that yet because I've been doing the AI stuff. So we'll be doing that. That's going to be a project coming up. And I'm currently working on that. We just uploaded one for Arthur Morgan doing the Phenomenal theme, which is pretty cool. We already had people seeing that one like within a second of it uploading, pretty much. I think in 2 minutes we had a comment on that one. That was insane, by the way. But that being said, I can't thank you guys enough for subscribing. I'm really happy about the success so far, but also I'm gonna love you guys being part of the journey throughout the rest of the year with new projects we'll be coming up with and new things I'm gonna be working on with friends of mine. I think you're gonna enjoy all of it, or at least enjoy 75% of it, which, to be honest, that's a C. And in my world, a C is passing, and that's also transferable. So there's that. Anyway, guys, until next time, adios.